Sigurd, son of Styr, was slain in the battle, ripped apart limb by Gendel. Hello Wanderers, and welcome back to our Crusader Kings 3 Game of Thrones mod playthrough of the Thenn. And as you can see here, since the last episode, a bit of time has passed, and we have increased the power and the holdings of the Magnar quite significantly, and we plan to do so even more as we have waged now a subjugation war against the chief of the Drowned Forest. This will be the biggest war we've been in yet, as the chief is allied with the forces of Bleakwater, but I think that we should be able to handily take them with our powerful Thenn army, and that will give us a very strong base to operate from here in the lands beyond the wall. So, as we jump in here, you see we have our army, and we're going to send it straight for the enemy capital. We'll take a little bit of casualties along the way, but I don't think it will be too significant, and we won't need to worry about it too much. So as we were heading over there, I did see that their armies do appear to be gathering up in the north end. I actually think that we are going to try to take their armies first before they can move into our lands and start sieging us down. So we're going to follow their army up here and deal with the forces of our enemies first and foremost. Looks like they're stopping to siege over here, so we should be able to capture them here. Let's make sure we are leading the army. We are indeed leading the army. Looks like we'll be able to capture, yeah, the majority of them here. So the forces are not, it's not a terrible matchup, and you can see that we are going up against High Chieftain Sorin himself here in this army versus us, the two leaders of these forces here in the battle. Let us see what entails. I suspect that we should be able to win this one just by the sheer forces that we have, but we shall see. We do have more powerful captains, but they do have a few more. So we'll see how it goes. Our captain, Magnar Styr, was slain here. That has given us a title that we did inherit, so that's fine. We'll just have to give that out to someone else in the meantime, but looks like our son was wounded. Sigurd, son of Styr, was slain in the battle, ripped apart limb by Gendel. Sigurd, son of Styr, slain in the battle. That's gonna pose some interesting things. We're gonna take a look at that a little bit more once this battle is done. But our son killed in this battle. That is significant. That is truly significant indeed. Looks like we're gonna have some interesting events to look through once this fight is done, and as we have said, we have handily taken it to the enemies, but we have lost a lot of our good warriors here in this fight. War is dangerous, and it is even more dangerous in this Game of Thrones mod. A significant increase to the amount of danger that your knights face when they fight in a battle. So let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the details of this battle. We did win, but as you can see, Wundarweg has got the most kills, as did Magnar Lokgrim of the Jagged Hills, Baria Jorakul. But as you can see here, Alfarin slain, but Chieftain Sigurd, he is a skilled warrior too, but he did not survive. As you can see, his wife Val of Hidden Camp is pregnant, is bearing his child, but our son was slain in that fight. Grunar Brog also slain here. We've got Chieftain Doss of the Silent Hills, Gendel. Forces on their side slain as well, but overall, looks like we may have had the most significant loss in that fight. That has actually put our son, Chieftain Halleck, son of Styr, as you can see in those years that have passed since the last episode, we did have a son with Queen Nova, and that is Chieftain Halleck. He has taken over his brother's realm here, which was the Chieftain of Srunmued. So he'll be operating that, but I mean, we're gonna have to find him a spouse probably at some point here. But very interesting that the son of Queen Nova is going to presumably inherit the lands of the Then and the honor of being named to the Magnar. Well, we're going to have to go and avenge our son's death, so we're going to send our forces here and take the enemy capital. If we can capture anybody, we will probably simply execute them. Indeed, let's just execute the entire lot of them. There we go. All of them executed as was needed for vengeance for our son. So we do have some empty council positions too. We'll fill those up with presumably whoever seems best suited here. Magnar Hall of the Pale Mountains, you can be our new Castellan. And for our steward, not a lot of great options, so I guess we'll probably put we'll say Irek, you can take over that position for now. Enemy forces are trying to move here, but I think we're going to try for the siege here first and deal with the enemy armies a little later on. So once the siege is done, we will jump back in. So looking over things, you can actually see that we are starting to get a little bit outnumbered here in this fight. So I think that we're gonna need to look to bring in some mercenaries. So we're actually gonna hire the Then Band here. That should give us a good chunk of mercenaries to work with here. It looks like the enemy might be coming for them, so we're gonna try to move them out of the way here. Let's meet up and gather up our forces here in the province of, we'll say, Winter's Wedge. We should be able to gather up our forces quickly enough there. And hopefully with that, we might have just enough to take down these enemy armies, especially since they're splitting themselves up for us. Very kind of them to do that. Let's see if we can manage to sneak in and separate them. Looks like we might be able to, yeah, get this smaller force here. And we're chasing them away. Still like to take out... I think our best chances here is to catch these two. So we're going to try to get ourselves into a good bit of combat here. And then, presuming that we do, we are going to jump into the battle. So it looks like we might get them here in Hardwood. So let us see what happens here. Oh, a small little army that just happened to get in the way. That's unfortunate for them, but let's see how this fight goes. Looks like we had a few of our people captured. Oh, and looks like we might be able to... Oh, they're meeting up again. They've got quite a few forces here. I am not looking forward to this. Let's see. Yeah, they outnumber us significantly now. A lot of enemies have joined in here in this subjugation war. So we're gonna need to get something going here. I'll probably try to hire some more mercenaries, and then we'll see what we can do. So we have actually managed to take a few battles with the enemy when they had some smaller forces, but we're going to try to engage the main bulk of their forces here. They're defending a river crossing. They've got some advantages, but we do have superior numbers. One thing we don't have is a superior number of knights. But I think that we'll probably be able to win this fight here, just based on our forces alone. So hopefully, with any luck, I mean, our Captain Lorana was viciously dismembered by one of their people, but oh, I see. Let's Queen Nova is diligent in administration here. Let's see. We could gain some money. Honestly, money's gonna be really helpful to us here. Control level, increased defenses. No, we definitely need to save the money. We need to build up our money because we're spending it pretty quickly here, buying some mercenaries and stuff to fill out our army, just enough to make this fight something manageable here. So we're losing a lot of our knights too. We're gonna have to do something about that at some point. But we've got this fight here, and with any luck, we'll capture the High Chieftain, because this war is going on for a long time, and I'd like to end it as soon as we can. So here we go. We did have a daughter. Very good. All right, we've pushed the enemy forces. We need to capture a few more of their tribes, but once we do, this war might be over. So I'll come back when it is, or when something absolutely terrible happens. We shall see. So that was a pretty intense war. I don't know, I must have spent a good 15 or 20 minutes, at least it felt like it, running around the map, capturing places where I could, taking on their armies when they split up. They actually brought on a huge amount of forces here. Like a ton of allies joined in against us and really turned things around like a couple times, but we were able to avoid their armies long enough to capture some of these provinces, and before they took their capital back, we managed to get the last one we needed to get the war score. But that was an intense fight, and honestly, I am glad that it is done, because that took a lot of energy just running around there that whole time. So that is that. We have subjugated the Magnar here, and we can unfortunately not put our forces away, because in the meantime we did have a bit of a rebellion pop up in our land. So we're gonna have to send our forces back to deal with that. Hopefully they don't kill any of our children here. If they do manage to take our capital, we shall see. But before we go into all that, I do want to look at events here. Following the death of our son and heir Sigorn, as you can see, he died in the battle. He was ripped apart limb by limb by Gendel here, who in turn was slain in battle by Baria here, who is also one of ours, who was in turn chopped into pieces by Chieftain Gorn. What happened to Chieftain Gorn? Well, Chieftain Gorn was viciously dismembered by Wunweg Wundarwoon's mighty axe, and Wunweg is still doing good. So there was a trail of death that led from our own eldest son's death, but that leaves our next in line here, Chieftain Halleck, son of Styr, the son of our Queen Nova. So he is a descendant of House Dane, as you can clearly see here. And he has their features. That's going to make things pretty interesting, actually, going forward once this character takes over. But my god, that was an intense war. I don't even want to know how many of our powerful forces died during that. I mean, we lost a lot of knights, we lost a lot of troops during that war, but we did manage to survive. We could make Wunweg our Castellan. He's actually the best suited for it. We can get our marshal here. That's probably going to be Chiefess Oga, and then a new spymaster is probably going to be, well, let's see here. Yeah, Magnar. The Magnar here. Looks like we did lose during that. There was so much going on. What happened to our friend? Indeed, Lokrim Redeye was ousted from his lands. We can bring him back to our court, and we'll probably give him new lands when we get the chance, and that's probably going to be reasonably soon. But like I said, that was an intense war. I'm gonna just wrap up a few little things here. We do need a new, oh, we can get an admiral now. Oh yes, because we have lands that are on the water, we can get ourselves an admiral. Who's going to do that? Magnar Styr of the Drowned Forest. I mean, you were just our enemy, but I suppose we could give you a position on the council. Why not? Prove yourself to us and maybe we will release your wife. Yeah, I mean, negotiate release, gain a weak hook, banish. I mean, we'll see what we do with that. But like I said, that was a pretty intense war. A lot of stuff to go through here. We will probably do that in the next episode or in between episodes. What are our plans from here? Well, I mean, we do need to clean up a lot of these forces. The struggle beyond the wall is kind of nearing a little bit over the halfway mark, but Styr is getting a bit old. We'll see if he lives long enough to see the struggle phase transfer over so that we can actually manage to get one of these ending decisions. Obviously, we want it to go over into the let's see, what is it? The hostility phase. Indeed, we'd like to see it get into the hostility phase so we can choose Then Dominance as the outcome. 10,000 renown, that's a huge boost of renown. We gain a new nickname, King Beyond the Wall. A lot of excellent features here. Convert faith, promote culture. Lots of great things if we can do that. And then once we become a King Beyond the Wall, we can take the wall ourselves. But that will be in a next episode. Thank you for watching. This might be a bit of a shorter one. I don't know how much of the actual fighting I'm going to add in from that war, but until the next one, thank you for watching.